we've got Samuel Ahmadu. Thank you so much, Sam, for joining us on the show.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me. It's always a joy to talk women's football. We're seeing the growing wind across the country and also beyond. We're excited by this new dawn.
Yes,
definitely.
Indeed, we're excited. I'm super excited at seeing that in Abeokuta. I know that the last time we had maybe seen fans turn out in a particular way was in Lagos, would have been Aisha Cup. But what I saw in Abeokuta was different, far from what I saw at the Aisha Cup. Sam, this was a Tuesday, a work day, yet the stadium was packed. Let's hear from some of the fans first before I get your thoughts on this. What the fans said, even after the Super Falcons picked a draw in Abeokuta there against Benin Republic. All right, I'm hoping that we can get fan reaction at this time. But if you cannot get the fan reaction at this time, let me hear from you. Maybe my producer wants to hear from you. Sam, it was a work day and we could see such a turnout. How did that, the outcome of the fan attendance, how did it come to you even after the game?
Oh, well, realistically, I think I was there. I also saw for a fact the experience. And interestingly, it's a couple of players who had needed me to help bring their family members to come watch the game with VIP tickets. Shockingly, just at the time of kickoff, 4 p.m. to be precise, there was no space for them to even go through, even with your VIP tickets. And a couple of those players who were expecting their family members to probably have that kind of VIP experience of seeing their life, unfortunately had to also share the stands, with the fellow fans. And I think it was an electric atmosphere. I saw a bit of that in Ibadan, the mobilization also for the, on the 20th March, it was also a packed stadium in Ibadan, Lake Consolami Stadium, during the qualifying game between this on the 20 team and Rwanda, which had the governor Shey Makinde in attendance. And, we had a little sort of excitement. If you remember the game against Cameroon, we had also an impressive turnout, but this definitely was somewhat a surprising hit with fans, turning out in their numbers. And, incredible number, over 15,000. The stadium was filled to capacity, and you even see quite a number outside, still trying to catch a glimpse, still trying to find their way in, still trying to push. There was practically no space for one to stand. I had limited time to even see the game because you could hardly stand conveniently in that stadium to really see the game. And if you are not in a good position, definitely you are out of you are lost for chance to seeing the game properly. But to tell you, it was such an incredible moment for me. I think this is not just incredible, but it's a defining moment for women's football, and excitingly seeing what is happening in the Southwest, because you spoke about Lagos area. We saw what the atmosphere was like in Ibadan, and Abeokuta now intentionally looking to be now the home for Super Falcons, and deliberately one must be excited and appreciative of the state government. It's not back in the days where you question, we don't have fans, the quality of media announcements or publicity before games are not good enough. But lo and behold, in Ibadan, the fans' presence, and I know we'll give credit to our journalists, to our media fellow colleagues who are really doing a lot to give incredible advertisements about this game in builds up to all these counters. And, we now can say the Lord is coming to the women's game, and much excitedly, Abeokuta will also be home to one of the premiership teams in Casmog Ladies, and surely fans can also continue to enjoy women's football every two weeks on that soil, and hopefully before we host another friendly game, hopefully in November or December. Definitely fans can continue to enjoy women's football when the league kicks off on November 26th. With Casmog Ladies playing also in their home game. And I think this is also bringing women's football to Abeokuta.
Okay.
Today's the home teams. The women's game is growing. The bigger times, the best of times are just coming. They're around the corner, and we can't wait to see how explosive this will definitely happen in our own time.
Okay, Sam, you've said it so wonderfully well. But I get from my producer that we have the fan reaction, what they had to say after that encounter. Even though the Super Falcons ended in a draw, they were very elated that they came over there to Abeokuta to play that match. Let's hear from the fans first.
The crowd is fantastic. The stadium is full and it's enjoyable. It's a good scene. I love it. It's a good game, to be honest. No pressure for Super Falcon at all. There's no pressure. So the game is good. I give it to them.
We have won and away with 2 goals ahead. Picking a point in our home does not mean it's a bad result. So they are also a better side too. We managed to pick at least 4 out of the 2 legs. So for that, I'm very happy. And I cannot say much about this any longer just because what we needed has already been achieved.
Oh, my expectation is so great. Believing God that we're going to win them. Even right there in Benin, we are able to win them. Not to talk of Ashley's ancestral home. We are going to beat them. I think Ashley is from Abeokuta.
There we heard from Ashley Plumptre's uncle. Yes, we're able to catch up with him and then ask that, this is Abeokuta, what are you expecting from the game? That was him speaking before the encounter, saying Ashley was going to turn up. And indeed, Ashley did turn up. She got Nigeria the only goal there against Benin Republic. Now joining me would be WAFCON winning female journalist. Of course, I would call her that, but she's a journalist. Good one at that. We've got Suo Chapele. Thank you so much, Suo, for joining us on the show. Chief Suo, you're welcome.
Great to see you, my fellow WAFCON winning journalists. Yes, it is a great time to talk about women's football. I can't tell you how excited I am to jump on this, especially with people like Samuel Ahmadu in the block, because this is what we have been praying for, we have been hoping for. And to get the fans to get that kind of joy, you know, when we started, they always talk about 1980s,
yes,
when Surulere, the national stadium there, used to be the temple where anything could happen and you could see people rise to the occasion. And I think a verisimilitude of what we experienced in our parents' set, because that was not my set, I was not even born then. We just caught a glimpse of it just a few days ago at Abeokuta. It gives me reason to be hopeful. It tells me that the product is there. People are ready to cheer on their girls. Now it's just time for us to set things up to make sure that they shine. Because you can tell in the 2000s, I believe 2013 to 16, it was Spain, France, and England that spent a lot of their time playing in national stadiums, set in one place. And they had a market 24% increase in the amount of wins they had, making it an average of 65%. Every time you play at home in front of a set of fans in a particular stadium, even UEFA will back up these statistics, and that is facts. This is one of the reasons why the United States women have been very, very good and very visceral when they get to play in their home. And for 10-time champions in the Women African Cup of Nations, and, you know, for record holders when it comes to going to the World Cup back to back, and again, the Super Falcons, I believe, deserve the chance. I drove the road from Lagos to Abeokuta a couple of times this past month. And I can tell you, if you're living from places like Lagos, Sam is right. There's a network of roads that makes it easy for you to attend, whether you are using public transport or not. The road is smooth, it is fair. So a few things are positive already going for us. But if we want to tighten it up, it's not just by our governor that we're building getting to, I say our governor because he gave our girls 50 million. So please, he's our governor.
He's our governor indeed.
You know, he doesn't need to just do just that. They need to set up the ecosystem around that space. You know, we were talking about the crowd and how it was an overflow. This was where we saw in Ghana that they had a stampede the other time. People will come because they have joy, but you must set it up in a way that is structured. There was no difference between the VIP and, you know, journalist stand and general stand, because everybody wanted to watch the girls. And that's how it is. Nigerians don't want people that give them stress. Not saying the Super Eagles give people stress, but there's a way you watch the ladies' game that you have a certain certainty let me put it like that, that they will get the result, or they will put their bodies on the line trying.
Okay.
Most of the fans we talked with after the game finished, they were saying things like this, like, now wow, it's so different. Because they never experienced the girls in that way.
Indeed.
They are so used to panic. And I believe Nigerian fans and West Africa all over, Sam, you know this, Oyin, you know this, they deserve to experience what it feels like.
Yeah.
Day in, day out, every international break, especially now that every other 3 months we have international break, it makes it easier to plan this. It makes it easier to get the commerce going. And if they put all the arrangements in place, I believe that Abiodun and his goons, they have a diamond on their hands that will blow everything out of the park.
Okay, beautifully said, Suo. You were in Morocco and you saw the way the main bowl was really fully packed just for that final between Morocco and Nigeria. But in Abeokuta over there, I could feel that Super Eagles-like reception for the Super Falcons. Never have I seen that before. Fans having to wait near their bosses, to greet them, to hand them pictures, to hand them frames. It was like a Super Eagles-like kind of reception for them. But Suo, does this really show a reflection of a growth in women's football? Is it really giving us a glimpse that Nigerians are beginning to accept women's football? Did we have to win the 10th title? Do you think that is the 10th title syndrome that gave this reaction from the fans to be able to accept the Super Falcons? Or we're just beginning to embrace women's football in Nigeria?
This question is really deep, right? This is my take on it. I feel like the girls have always been consistent since 1991. Our women have always been doing the work, but they have the case of first wife syndrome, and second wife syndrome. Since the 80s, in fact, the 70s, and when the Green Eagles started, they were always the ones that were supposed to be the shining lights. And most times, the girls always knew they had a hot task. So even if you say you watch women's football, there was always, they look like men. There's always this one. There was always one story or the other. But now, as time goes, the consistency has been showing, and even more, they've been branching out. For instance, if you check every single position, every single player, there's someone who's already doing school, already has a degree, or doing something with DJ or something extra, a scientist, whatnot. And now they are seeing that there's a verified way for you to make business out of this sport. They are seeing the legends that have come before, the Omar Benis of the world, being homeowners, property, and captains of industries. So where's the bias going to come from anymore when consistently time has shown that first wife is still first wife on some level? So I feel like it's just the zeitgeist that switched. It's not that they didn't know that girls were doing well as Nigerians. It's a general thing. We know that they are doing well. It just felt like, anything, let's just manage them. The other day, you saw Esther Oronkwo. She played with some young boys that were, teasing her until she started showing them things. She and Mitchell beat Shege come up for people body for inside 5x5 or be 5-a-side. And they were like, wow, this girl is actually balling, So I think the quality and the high-level, top-notch, world-class quality of the girls has made people realize that, how can I miss out on this if people are enjoying it in America? People are enjoying it in Australia. People are enjoying it in Asia and Saudi Arabia. Why would they want to put that kind of big money for somebody that we say is an old-timer? And the babe we're taking her for granted. We saw that love with the Abuja, not even Abuja, the Hausa boys especially that used to come into Casablanca Stadium. The way they would just be going crazy for different people. And I think that's just rippled effect. Everybody wants to be part of something good that's coming out of Nigeria, because being connected to Nigeria on a positive level is a rare, fine thing.
Okay.
And one of the people that have always consistently given us gems to be positive and happy about, especially when it comes to performance and top-notch quality, has been the Super Falcons. And I feel like Nigerians wanted to just get into that vibe. It's the time, and I feel like we should not sleep on it. I feel like we should apply pressure. And if you want to apply pressure, get extra training pitches on the side so that it really becomes a space where fans can come. I remember people saying that they used to pay money to go and watch Okocha dribble in training at Bolton Wanderers. Yes, this is top quality. People are waiting in the lines to see these girls. They are superstars. They are winning Champions Leagues and whatnot. They are the ones that they are being called for all the global awards. So you have to give them that accolade. So I feel like they've been there performing. It's just that everybody don't appreciate them for outside, and now we are like, if I not own my wife, they go take her. I think that's the mindset.
Okay. All right. I'd like to ask you both this question, but Sam first. Sam, do you think Abeokuta should now be considered as the official home ground for the Super Falcons? Because a lot of fans did say that there, given the turnouts that we did see, the warmth they got, and the symbolism of that particular venue. They've won games in that venue. They've not lost any. Do you think Abeokuta should be the home ground, or do we risk maybe limiting that visibility by taking the games across other states in Nigeria, Sam?
Yeah, personally, I think Ogun State has been home to women's football from the time immemorial. You recall that the first official African Women's Cup of Nations finals were held in Ogun State, and that was Ijebu-Ode. So Ogun State has been for years.
All right, I think we're having a connection issue with Sam Ahmadu. All right, we'll be hoping that he can reconnect. Suo, let me throw that to you right now. Do you think it should be the home ground? Because it was a work day and they could turn out like that for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Do you think we'll risk the visibility that we have been clamoring for? We have both been preaching that we should give these women attention, let them be, their games be visible, let them have sponsors, all these things we have been clamoring for. If we move this game away from Abeokuta, like the reception we just saw, do you think we will risk that visibility for the Super Falcons of Nigeria? While we wait for Sam to reconnect. So please.
I think we'll be even dropping the ball. The last two games they played at the MKO were not publicized. In fact, I was on commentary duties for a couple of those. It's the two games, that's the couple. And it was terrible trying to keep the commentary going when you couldn't have visibility. But I do feel like MKO Abiola Stadium, it not only holds a spiritual connection, it has the network and it has the potential to do this. They always tell you, if you want to do a party, don't carry it over a big venue. And of all the venues that they use, this is one of the niche, intimate venues. It's just inside 10 to 15,000, capacity. Yes, this is an overflow that you see, and that will tell you that, they need to build bars around that area, the way you would do around the Wembley and whatnot. That tells you that the nation's football soul is not in a trophy cabinet. It's actually on the grounds, that people sing your anthem, where your fans can come and shout and, explore their culture, where you can say from one generation to the other, they experience something that can draw you into the country and make you feel connected, no matter where you are, especially in this jackpot season. So it's a central location for me. It has the political symbolism. It has the historic aura. Everybody knows about 1993 and MKO Abiola and the Abiola babes, and now they used to beat people like Ufoma babes a lot. So I can tell you that it has the connections to make it work. Now, when it comes to even the connectivity, you can use about less than 2 hours from a plane or an airport. You are already there. The roads are good. I drove the roads. So I can tell you, the roads are good to that stadium and back, especially if you're coming to Lagos or you're connecting back to the other parts of the West.
Okay,
so most of the things you fight for, you won't have to. If anything, it's an internal structure they have to put around the stadium to support the girls and make sure that there's things like fans day, that fans can have open day, they can do activations, and businesses can thrive around there. So the paraphernalias, people wanted to buy things now. There was no cover for them. If you go to Wembley, before you get to Wembley, you see the bars and you see all the places you can hang around. And, if you can't get into the stadium, you can have premium locations to still have activations. And I feel that MKO in this space, in this area, they own it very well. It's one of the most secured areas in Ogun State, by the way. That's where it's located. So they have it, and if they capitalize on it, I feel that's estimated. Analysts have done it. They say an estimation of every match day, the ecosystem directly on the pitch or in the stadium and outside, we can actually earn up to 350 million to 200 million. 200 to 350 million by way of profit and enterprise that goes on from the planning, the transportation, the food, the accommodation, the paraphernalia that you buy. Now, if you manage to lock that in, and you know that every international match day fixture, every other 3 months, this is coming to your economy in your area. Come on now. That's what we are asking. That's the renewed hope that the president keeps harping about, and that's what we want to be seeing. And the Super Falcons can really deliver that without breaking the sweat. MKO Abiola Stadium.
Thank you, Sam, for reconnecting. So let's hear from you. Suo just broke down that we can have this as a way of revenue generation for the country and not forgetting Ogun State. So what's your take about making that place a home ground for the Super Falcons of Nigeria?
side, Ogun State is akin to women's football. They hosted the inaugural African Women's Cup of Nations in 1998, and definitely since then they've had their great role in the growth of the women's game. And that is also why it was exciting that the women's Super 6 was brought back to Ogun State in Ikenne, and you're seeing the growing economy in Ogun State in terms of sports. You have a fantastic stadium in Ijebu. We just need some sort of overhauling and improvement on. You have one in Abeokuta, you have in Ikenne, and definitely when you have this stadia, it's more than enough to even host a major championship, an African Women's Cup of Nations. And why not, after Morocco, with Nigeria considering having the 2028 or 2030 African Women's Cup of Nations? So I think Ogun State has it all. And in terms of transportation, just like Suo said, surprisingly and excitingly, Ogun State has already secured an airstrip in Peru. That's a cargo air station, which potentially could be an international airport. I just also got to know that Ogun State now has gotten Gateway Air, which landed yesterday in Lagos, 2 airlines. And I saw the cost of flights, from Abuja to Peru. It's also quite cheap, twice a week. And honestly, who won't be excited to go to Abeokuta or to go to Ogun State and connecting from either sides of the state? So,
okay.
I think it's exciting times for women's football. It's exciting times for sports and for football in Nigeria, that we must take advantage of these platforms, this business opportunity, like she rightly mentioned, that we must take advantage of this opportunity and see Abeokuta, not just Abeokuta alone, but potentially the Southwest, as now home to women's football. All
right, quickly, Suo, I want you in quick seconds. We're talking about taking advantage. Let's talk about the Nigerian Football Federation's role right now. Do you think the Federation really celebrated the Super Falcons enough after that WAFCON victory, for the fact that they are playing on home top for the first time after clinching the 10th title? Do you think that reception in Abeokuta was just enough? Please, in quick seconds, because I need to get Sammy's own take.
In quick seconds, I'll tell you, no. It was the first time Nigerian fans had the opportunity to welcome somebody that has done something historically. Nobody has done it before. It's 10 times. No, it was not. The fans had not seen the trophy, not the trophy parade that they did the other time. They had not seen it. They did not experience that flow. I would have expected to see the trophy. I would have expected to see some pomp and pageantry. But no, it was a Mo just do and they go. That's where they dropped the ball. They can't do better. There's another international break before we enter the WAFCON fully. They can do better and use that to make that place our Nigerian Wembley. Sorry for using Wembley, Lord. Use that place to ginger and put fear in people. Let them see it and let them feel the spiritual connection. And let's go take it again for the 11th time.
All right. Sam, thank you so much, Suo, for hitting that on the head. Sam, do you also share the same thoughts with Suo, or you differ?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a memorable moment, and surely we deliberately looking at how best we could connect with the fans. It has to be deliberate, and it doesn't matter if it's something created by the federation. I think agencies could also liaise with the Nigerian Football Federation and potentially see how best to build commercialization around our game, and also ensuring that opportunities like this are not lost. The fans are always willing to put their money where their joy is, and this is one of the exciting moments that we must take advantage on and potentially make something huge out of it in terms of revenue, in terms of
so Sam, I am talking about how the Nigerian Football Federation, I beg your pardon, Sam, I'm talking about how the Nigerian Football Federation welcomed the girls. This is the first time they are playing after the WAFCON in Morocco. Do you think that was enough welcome for the girls? For the fact they are playing on home top for the first time after clinching the 10th title. Do you think that was enough welcome for the girls?
Yeah, I agree totally with what Suo said. I think it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best we could have gotten. Definitely, we could have done better, notably, especially on the trophy parade. I definitely agree totally with that, because I have said that when I got to the stadium, and unfortunately, that not happening definitely was also a minus on everything that was done there. So, but regardless, I also was recommended that even if the federation can't manage this, you could always get collaborations that could ensure that these things can always be handled. It doesn't have to be internally. This is done world over, even at FIFA or CAF. So you must get more hands on deck to ensure that, yes, stuff like this are deliberately being done, and also you can achieve more than you could ever imagine, especially to impress the fans and also instill that joy and also leverage on this new fan vibes around the women's team and also the women's football in Nigeria.
Thank you so much. We're hoping that the Nigerian Football Federation has gotten this. They can take this home with them and put this into action. We have been speaking to, I'll call them WAFCON winning journalists indeed. We had Samuel Ahmadu, who was working for the Confederation of African Football. He has been following women's football for a very long time. Thank you for always meddling in women's matters, Sam, and thank you for being on the show.